Hello crafty friends, I'm Lean from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to finally be back after having been sick for quite a while now. So I'm very happy that I can finally make some videos. My voice was ruined, otherwise I was fine, but yeah, I didn't want to put you guys through having to listen to that. So now I'm back with not one, but two cards for the Seize the Stamp Color Challenge, and I made two cards just because I love this foil plate. This is the Lush Vines hot foil plate by Pinkfresh Studio, and I got a perfect impression from the first one. So I thought, why not reverse foil it as well? So this is the Lush Vines hot foil plate. I just said that, I realized. And now I am going to use all of that leftover foil. I'm taping that in place on my cardstock, putting the solid foil plate, also by Pinkfresh Studio, on top. And I can put that upside down on my Glimmer system. And that gives me that reverse foiling as well. This is the Pewter hot foil by Spellbinders, and it is gorgeous. It's not black. It appears black on video. It's a very dark silver, and it's very warm as well. So I really like the color for this fall card. Now, this is the only card I had in mind for this color challenge. It is gorgeous oranges and reds. It's a really unique color palette, and the majority of the photo inspiration for this color challenge was great. So I am actually also going to be coloring my background for this. And I'm using the Ohuhu alcohol markers for this. I really like them. They're a budget alcohol marker, so it won't break your bank like Copics would. And they're just as fun to use, and you don't have to feel guilty about emptying your wallet for some markers. So once I've colored all of the leaves, I am going in with my gray marker, and I am dividing it into sections a little bit. So where there are lines, I'm trying to use them to stop coloring for a little bit, and that will keep you from having those harsh edges in your coloring itself. For background coloring, you're always going to see where you overlapped your sections, but with a background like this, it's a little easier to do. Now, I'm going to leave that background for what it is right now, and I'm going to put that card together later. But for the second card, I am going to add some flowers to this. And these are the beautiful blooms, also by Pinkfresh Studio, and all of the products I am using today are available at Seize the Stamp. You can also use code STSLEAN10, that is in the description below, to get 10% off your purchase. I have embossed these flowers onto Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock with some silver embossing powder by Wow. I'm heat setting that, and then I can use the coordinating stencils and the coordinating dies to finish these flowers. I'm going to speed through that a little bit because blending through stencils is always the same. Now, this is a very large stencil, and it actually wouldn't fit on my desk. So I had to wiggle it underneath my camera stand. If you see the image shifting a little bit, that's why. I'm very sorry about that. I'm using a couple of different inks today. I'm using some inks by Pigment Craft Co. I really like their inks. They have very unique colors, but I'm also using some reds by Pinkfresh Studio and Conquer the Ninth. And again, all of these inks are available at Seize the Stamp. And I think I really like the Conquer the Ninth inks and the Pigment Craft Co. inks. They are those foam pads, and they seem to blend better. I don't know if it's just a coincidence that I love both of these inks and they're both foam pads. Maybe that does nothing for the formula for the inks, but I do believe these blend easier than the Pinkfresh Studio ones, although the colors are all amazing. I am moving through the stencils quite quickly. There are, I think, 4 stencils in this set. So you have 2 layers for the florals and 2 layers for the leaves, so it's quite easy to do. Just line them up and you can ink blend 3 flowers at once. I die cut them as well. and you'll see that later. For this first card, I cut a matting layer out of some red cardstock that I will also use for my sentiment. And you can see I'm very stingy with my colored cardstock, so I actually cut a rectangle out of the middle of that so I can still use that on a future card. I propped this beautiful colored background onto some cardboard for some extra dimension, and then I am using the Happiest Hellos die set from the Stamp Market, which is one of my favorite sentiment die sets, and I cut both of the layers twice out of white cardstock and once for the shadow layer out of matte silver cardstock, which I thought matched the foil really nicely. It's a lot lighter than the foil, but it goes with it really well. And I die cut that top layer of the scripty layer. I die cut it out of that red cardstock that I used for the matting layer on my card as well. So that matches nicely, and it matches my reds in my background really nicely as well. I added that all together with some liquid glue, and then I can add that to the center of my card and be done with it. This is a really easy card to put together, but I did spend ages on the coloring. I love doing it, but it does take quite some time. Now on to the second card. I am going to adhere that foil background on top of my note card. This is all foil. It's very, very dark and very shiny, so it was very hard to capture on video or on camera for the photos, but it worked out in the end, I think. And I am going to break that up a little bit because it's such a dark background with a lighter silver frame. I did bag this with one layer of white cardstock just to add a little bit of sturdiness, and then I'm going to add the flowers. Now I arranged these and then I put a piece of purple tape over top of them to keep them in place. That's really easy if you have some flowers to adhere on a card. It's always very hard to replicate your arrangement once you've put some adhesive down. And sometimes because you use dimensional adhesive, one flower doesn't fit anymore behind the other because the foam tape is in the way. It's a mess sometimes. So this is a lot easier to do. It's a very easy trick. So just use an old piece of purple tape. And I use my purple tape over and over. Now you can see I did die cut these flowers from white cardstock, but I added some coloring from just some Ohuhu markers, a dark gray marker, to the white parts, and that makes it blend easier in with my background. And I really like that trick as well. I've been doing it a lot for darker backgrounds because I don't necessarily love when the white part of my die cut flowers breaks up that background. So that's it, 2 gorgeous foiled cards for this Seize the Stamp color challenge. It's quite a unique color palette and I'm not sure I was very comfortable using it. Those reds and dark grays, it was a little bit tricky, but I had fun experimenting anyway. I really love color challenges to get out of my comfort zone. I hope you participate. There's always a prize to win for the monthly color challenges for Seize the Stamp, so check that out on Instagram. I will leave that linked in the description below. And you can definitely look forward to more videos from me in the coming days, weeks, because I have a lot of things filmed and I wasn't able to edit them because I was sick or do the voiceover. So those are all coming up in the coming days. I am not necessarily looking forward to doing all of those voiceovers, but I'm definitely looking forward to finally showing you the projects I've been making. So I hope to see you back. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to be notified every time I post a new video, and I hope to see you next time.